Hey everyone, pleasure to be here with Chris Long. My name is Yarin Pinyan. I'm a co-founder and VP product here at Upwind. Chris?
Yep. And I'm Chris Long. I am the Senior Director of IT Security and Active CISO at Vectra.
It's actually a fun closure because last RSA, we're at RSA 2026.
Mhm.
Last year was the time where we actually got the chance to partner with Vectra
We did.
and become your CNAM vendor and,
Mhm.
cloud security, CWPP, threat detection and response. So obviously it's a pleasure, but would love to hear from you. Like you tested many solutions. You're also obviously in the cybersecurity industry. Vectra is the leading network detection and response
Yeah.
solution out there in the market. You know what you're testing. You know what good cloud security solution looks like. What was like the main decision or the main factors of why going and partnering with
Yeah.
Upwind?
Yeah, sure. So just a little bit about Vectra, I guess,
Yeah.
first. We're in the NDR space. We're a 10-year-old cybersecurity company. We started and cut our teeth doing network detection and response. We've since graduated and are more of an observability platform for what we deem is the modern network, which are things like identities,
Yep. Yep.
clouds, on-premise networks, cloud networks. So we certainly come with a security background, and cloud is a little newish to us.
Correct.
Um, we just struggled with finding a way to really focus on what matters most in the cloud. One of Vectra's core tenets is to provide clarity for our customers, and we do that by prioritizing attacks. So prioritization is very fundamental to us, important to us. So when we're looking for a vendor, we wanted to make sure we found one that shared that kind of philosophy. Um, and we just struggled with what was on the market today. Everything we saw was very noisy. It didn't really provide the results that my team was looking for or that our engineers were looking for. So we went out and we're lucky enough to have a booth next to Upwind at
Yeah.
Black Hat,
That's where we met.
and that is where we met. We were literally next to each other, and then bumped into you guys,
I
and
bumped
just
into
had
you.
yes, bumped into me. And then just had really amazing conversations since then, and getting to know the Upwind team, and to know that we aligned on philosophy. Those two things were really, really important to us.
I
So
think that one of the initial things that caught your eyes when we were talking was the noise around vulnerability management.
yeah,
The noise, the visibility into the vulnerabilities, because you're using, different solutions coming in from agentless scanning and solutions that are able to provide you visibility around what's critical and what's not,
yeah,
and sometimes what's exposed and what's not. But
yeah,
in this modern environment where not what's critical on the paper based on the CVSS score and based on the score that some vendors gave to a CVE, it means that it's actually critical for you. And you're actually our first design partner when it comes to the function use, all the NICs acquisition that we have made,
hmm
getting the runtime telemetry into vulnerabilities and giving you the visibility into whether the vulnerable package is loaded in memory,
yes,
and not only that is loaded to memory, but the vulnerable function is being used in a vulnerable way in your environment.
yeah.
Walk me through the process, of implementing it and also the workflows around it and how much noise we're able to cut off the noise of the criticals.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, that was one of the biggest. So traditionally, with like native hyperscaler solutions or other vendors, um, we have a fairly large cloud, thousands of workloads, highly containerized, if not 99%.
Yeah.
So we oftentimes receive scans, and the scans are static in nature. So when they're static, they don't really provide, they provide just a ton of false positives, right? So we would see versions of packages or code that our customers or our scanners would deem vulnerable because there's no runtime context, because you can't authenticate into that box and tell me, hey, this package has actually been backported and fixed. So that caused a lot of tension between our development team and my engineers, right? Because we're passing along all these vulnerabilities that aren't real. So the false positive rate was a real
Yeah.
challenge, right? Tons of false positives that were actually backported and fixed. And then to your point about runtime process, right? Like we might have a lot of images that include packages that aren't invoked or processes that aren't ran. And again, those lead to more false positive and more stress between groups. So one of the things I loved about Upwind immediately was one, it was really focused on containerization. and us being highly containerized and global and a fairly decent AWS footprint, um, it's a very simple deploy, right? We can deploy into our Kubernetes management, and then we immediately have visibility into all of our containers.
Yeah.
Um, we spin up and spin down containers frequently, right?
FAM
So
level, yeah.
a static snapshot for us does us no good. It provides us with an artifact that's old as of yesterday. And so if we're continually updating images, continually updating our Kubernetes clusters, static scanning just doesn't really provide value. It's historical already. So
Yeah.
we really needed something that was real time. So that's why, obviously we chose Upwind. Um, from a deployment perspective, fairly straightforward. Um, we don't have a lot of EC2, so it's just Kubernetes. So it's pretty much a Terraform in, and we see results within, hours. So it's pretty significant.
One Terraform and you pretty much fully deployed, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would say that the bottom line is if you use Upwind, your developers will be much happier because they get much less false positives
Absolutely.
and way
Yeah.
more confidence because, the security team now have way more context
Yeah.
that even the developers and the DevOps didn't have before.
Yes. Yeah. So there's two areas that there's a couple areas that are really, really important to us, and drivers for getting a CNAP platform like Upwind. Obviously, one is we need our developers to develop code,
Yep.
ship product.
Yep.
They're wasting way too much time chasing down vulnerabilities. Secondly, we have compliance requirements, so we're going after. State of Texas has their own
Mm.
compliance, so Texas ramp, and then we're pursuing FedRAMP. We needed to know what vulnerabilities were real, right? So we can fix those and then figure out ways to risk accept the remaining vulnerabilities because they weren't in use or they weren't real. So Upland was like the only platform that could do that for us, right? And allow us to get both TextRAMP certification and to proceed into FedRAMP certification.
I love it. I love it. And, in general, thank you so much. And thank you and the Vectra team. You guys have been so valuable for us in the acquisition that we have done for all the function and use technology and the Nix technology and pretty much our main design partners for this feature and these capabilities. I don't know what will happen if we didn't have you guys. So Chris, thank you so much, brother.
Yeah, we
You're
love you guys.
amazing. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, appreciate it.